The sun dipped behind the mountains as a group of 5 hikers, Josh, Mia, Aaron, Kayla, and Liam, set up camp deep in the Appalachian wilderness. They'd been planning the trip for months, eager for adventure, fresh air, and nights beneath the stars. The trees around them stood tall, blackening as the last bit of daylight slipped away. As they lit the campfire, conversation flowed easily. The warmth of the flames and the crackle of burning wood were comforting. Mia noticed how quiet the forest was as the light faded. Not a single chirp or rustle. "It's almost too peaceful out here," she remarked, her voice barely above a whisper. Aaron laughed. "That's what we came for, right? No distractions." The hours wore on, the fire beginning to die down, casting long shadows against the tent walls. They decided to call it a night, each retreating into their tents. The silence outside was unnerving, too still, as if the forest was holding its breath. Around midnight, a sound shattered the quiet. Josh was the first to hear it. Low, guttural growls, just outside his tent. He shot upright, his heart pounding. He reached for his flashlight, unzipping the tent as quietly as possible. The growls grew louder, more menacing. He stepped outside and swept the beam of light through the trees. At the edge of the clearing, something moved, something large. The light flickered over a shape too big to be a wolf, too fast to be a bear. Its eyes caught the beam for just a second, glowing a deep yellow. The creature stood upright, a hulking silhouette covered in matted fur. "Josh?" Mia's voice trembled from her tent. She had heard it too. Before he could answer, a deep snarl came from the creature. It charged forward on 2 legs, unnaturally fast. Josh froze, the light trembling in his hands. It stopped just at the edge of the firelight, revealing a monstrous figure, a twisted amalgamation of human and canine. Its long snout dripped saliva, sharp teeth glistening. Its eyes were locked on Josh, filled with a malevolent hunger. "Mia, get out of the tent!" he screamed. Suddenly, the creature howled, a piercing, otherworldly sound that echoed through the mountains. The others scrambled out of their tents, their faces pale with fear. "What the hell is that?" Liam shouted, eyes wide in terror. The creature snarled again and lunged. They barely had time to react. Josh swung his flashlight at it in a desperate attempt to keep it at bay, but the creature's strength was overwhelming. It knocked him to the ground, teeth snapping inches from his face. Aaron grabbed a burning log from the fire and swung it at the beast, making contact with its shoulder. The creature let out an ear-splitting howl, retreating into the darkness, its eyes still glowing with rage. "We have to go, now," Kayla urged, grabbing her backpack. "We can't stay here." They quickly packed up what they could, constantly looking over their shoulders, knowing the creature was watching from the shadows. Every branch snap, every rustle of leaves made them jump. They started hiking down the mountain, their flashlights flickering in the darkness, but the presence of the creature weighed on them. It was close, too close. Hours passed and exhaustion set in, but there was no safe place to stop. The forest had transformed into a maze of blackened trees, the path barely visible under the faint moonlight. The creature followed, its snarls occasionally breaking the silence, each time closer than before. Suddenly, it attacked again, this time from behind. Kayla screamed as the creature grabbed her, dragging her into the trees. The group froze in terror as her cries faded into the night. "We can't leave her," Aaron yelled, turning back. But it was too late. All that remained was the faint rustling of leaves and the low growl of the Dogman. Panic set in. They began to run, their breaths ragged, stumbling through the dark forest. The creature was relentless, toying with them, letting them think they had a chance to escape, only to appear again, closer each time. By dawn, only Josh and Mia were left, their bodies bruised and their minds fraying from fear. The mountains loomed above them, cold and indifferent. They reached a rocky outcrop, panting, hoping the elevation would offer some protection. But the creature was there, waiting for them. It stepped into the light of the rising sun, its fur glistening, its eyes burning with primal rage. This time there was no escape. As the sun rose higher, casting long shadows over the valley, the last echoes of their screams faded into the wind. The mountains stood still, keeping their ancient secret. The Dogman never lets anyone leave alive.